A few months ago, I stumbled across a post on Instagram that completely stopped me in my tracks. The garden featured was stunning. I immediately sent the video to my best friends with the message, "We have to visit this place next time we come down." I cannot believe we somehow missed this place on all of our trips down here over the years. Now, fast forward a bit, and I booked a trip to Miami to tour NSC Tropicals. I had a free day, so I reached out to Palmer about seeing his property. Not only did he say yes, he also asked if I wanted to check out Mounts Botanical Gardens. I totally forgot he was the head horticulturist there. Of course I said yes, and I immediately texted my friends to promise we could still go in September. By the way, we're still in the parking lot, and you can already tell how beautiful this place is gonna be. I mean, when the parking lot is this impressive, you know you're in for something special. So I arrived about 4 hours before close, hoping Palmer could show me around for a couple hours before I explored on my own while he wrapped up for the day. But, of course, Florida weather had other plans. Instead, Palmer showed me around for maybe an hour, and I managed another half hour solo. Actually, let me stop yapping and not spoil anything for you. Let's go meet Palmer and explore the gardens.
Yeah, I'm Palmer, lead horticulturist here at Mounts Botanical Garden. We're a 20-acre botanical garden here. We're made up of 25 unique gardens, essentially a collection of gardens of different themes and cultural care. And our collections are arranged more by how plants can be used to create a certain theme or vibe in such a way. And we're a garden of gardens. So we can start here, and this is the Rose and Fragrance Garden. And basically in this garden, you'll find a collection of plants, mainly flowering plants that smell really nice, but also plants that have leaves that are scented as well. And right here we have a lang-lang tree, a dwarf lang-lang tree with these very beautiful frilly flowers. And this tree is actually famous because it was the base scent for Chanel No. 5 perfume.
Wow.
So if you get in there, it has kind of a really pungent perfume smell. And usually these things get crazy tall, like a couple stories of building tall, you know, but this one, Cananga fruticosa, stays much more compact. It's really lovely.
That is beautiful tree. How tall do the smaller ones get?
This is about full height. I think they can be trained to be smaller than this if you like.
So cool.
But yeah. Yeah, Mounts, we've officially became Mounts Botanical Garden in 1986, but the garden has been here in some capacity since the 50s. And what happened was Marvin Mounts, he was the first extension agent for Palm Beach County. And a lot of states do this, but essentially the University of Florida has in every county an extension office, and the idea is University of Florida does research, agriculture research, all kinds of different research. They can disseminate it to the extension agents in each county, and they can then disseminate it to the population or businesses or farmers and things like that. So his name was Marvin Mounts, or Red Mounts, Red was his nickname, and he had his extension office just up front here along Military Trail. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to experiment with different tropical fruit trees and tropical crops that grow down here to address a lot of nutrient deficiencies that were happening with families in this area. Because, you know, this was back in the 50s. Florida wasn't completely, you know, as populated as is now. You know, there's a lot of people moving down here from up north. They didn't know what to grow. You know, you can't grow the same sort of things. And our seasons are so different. Our vegetable growing seasons are for Southern Florida is in the winter time, while everywhere else it's, you know, during the summertime.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so freaking hot down here. So he, behind his extension offices, planted a lot of trees and things, and to kind of experiment with what grows here, what nutrients these new crops can give to families. So our oldest trees on the property are from around that time. And they're all kind of in the front of the garden here. So when we get it back in the back of the fragrance garden here, you'll see lots of that, some of these larger trees. And hopefully we do that before we get hit with a big thunderstorm.
Is this what I'm smelling?
Maybe, yeah. This is the dwarf tree jasmine. This has a pretty nice scent. It could also be the Michelia here too, which is a magnoliad, so it's related to magnolia trees, but much smaller flowers, and they're here we go. They're pretty perfumey. Yeah. Maybe this is what it is. Yeah, that's a great smell. You can try that. I think it's Michelia Fago. Yeah, really nice, right?
That is amazing.
And our native Atala butterfly loves being around this tree. Like, they like roosting on the Kunti, Zamia integrifolia. That's the only cycad native to the United States and native here in Florida, and they use that as their host plant. And we have a bunch of those around here, but I always see them on this tree. I don't know, something about the smell of the flowers. They like hanging out here too, which is pretty neat. Some angel trumpets. Always really beautiful in the garden.
Super poisonous or toxic.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, the leaves are known to be toxic. And
Barry taught me about that one.
Yeah,
what do you have over there?
Yeah, so that's our breadfruit. It's loaded not our breadfruit, sorry. It's our jackfruit. We do have a breadfruit tree, but that's our jackfruit. It's absolutely loaded.
Those things are huge.
Yeah, and look how many there are all clustered up there.
Wow.
It's amazing the limbs don't break.
Do you eat the fruit here? Or what do you guys do with it?
So, yeah, on stuff like that where there's so many, a lot of the garden staff and volunteers, you know, we'll take a bit. If we have to do a class and someone, you know, wants to use them for educational purposes, we're like, yes, let's go. We'll take as many as you want. A lot of it we just try to leave on the tree because there's a different reaction, you know, when people are just seeing a tree and you tell them what it does, and then they actually see the things growing on the tree themselves. They see all the fruits and stuff. They get a lot more excitement. There's a lot more response there. So a lot of it we try to leave alone.
Yeah, if it wasn't on the tree, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Yeah, right? It would just be another tree. Yeah, I love this right here, this gardenia. This one has a really great smell too. Yeah, we just passed full bloom. Usually the flowers come out white and they turn into this.
So they change colors over time?
Yeah, the species does. I forget the species on this one, but it is a gardenia.
Flowers. There's so much to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot here. So, like I was kind of saying in the beginning, each garden is developed based on a theme. So this is the fragrance garden. It's fragrance and rose garden. We don't have too many roses right now, which is something we want to get more into. Well, we used to. We just need to go out and get more. Yeah,
that has a very interesting smell.
Yeah, this is Adam's apple. It's one of these kind of like these tree jasmines, essentially. Cabernet Montana. They call it Adam's apple because it gets a big fruit. These two big green balls that like to hang on the limbs. Yeah, and I guess they call it Adam's apple because they look like an apple on the throat.
It's got like a spicy smell.
Yeah. Yeah, Cabernet Montana Pachysiphon. That's right. Now, I was talking about some of the older trees being fruit trees, and above us, this is one of such fruit trees. This is Mamea americana, or mammy apple. And you can kind of see them hanging, like these big baseball to a little bit larger than baseball-sized fruits here. And they look a lot like a mamey, or Moai Statues. And that's a totally different fruit, totally different family. You cut them open, they both have orange flesh, but this one, it tastes more like, they call it tropical apricot too, because it tastes like an apricot. And it's not something you'll ever even see around here at farmers markets or anything, because the only way to tell when one's ripe is when it falls off the tree and hits the ground. Because usually they're just like hard as a rock all times of the year. It's just when the tree releases them, then we know that they're ripe. But, you know, when you release them, they hit the ground and they get bruised, and then the shelf life on them is like a few days, essentially. But it's a very delicious fruit. We call it our mango replacement, because in years where we have a bad mango crop and, you know, we don't get any fruit almost, this one always produces, and it's around the same time. It's a really quite a good thing. I'll see if I can get you a little here. But you can see the inside, nice and bright and orange.
It's kind of like a peach.
Yeah. If you want to try.
Sure.
I don't know how. If you like apricots, it's really good.
I do like that.
Yeah. Very thick flesh. It's got this big woody seed in the middle. So if you know what Moai looks like, if you were to cut it open, it'd be the same color, but it'd be a dark, black, shiny seed. This is mammy apple. Yeah, kind of thick. Oh, black eraser. Here's a snake.
Oh, a snake.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of wildlife here.
Crazy.
I should also mention, so this particular tree, this specific one, is a champion tree. So a champion tree, every state has their own champion trees, and if you have a champion tree, that means it's the largest of that species in that state. So this is the champion mammy apple tree.
That's so cool. So this is the largest in the state?
And the largest mammy apple you'll find in the state of Florida. But there's not a lot of states in the country where you're gonna find this growing. It is a tropical plant from South America. So could be the largest in the country.
Really good.
Speaking of which, this is also the champion longan tree, which has a really, really beautiful bark here.
Yes.
And these big long branches. This was planted in like 1980. So that makes it just over 50 years old or so. And longans are really delicious fruits. They kind of almost look like a lychee on the inside and outside, but without all the red and the spikes, just smooth, but really delicious fruit from tropical Asia. And this one doesn't bear fruit for us, which is actually kind of a blessing, because it's such a big tree, it's so large that if it dropped all of its fruit, it would make such a mess, and then we would have to pick up all the seedlings.
I understand that.
But yeah, and not only do we have the largest, the champion tree, we also have the second largest over there too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So why doesn't it produce fruit here for you guys?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how longans work with their fruiting seasons, if they're on one year off the other year, or this one, maybe it's just so large. I don't know, just maybe it's gotten too old for that. It's not trimmed to a certain size. This is just all me guessing. I really don't know.
Gotcha.
But
interesting.
We don't fertilize it either. That could potentially be a reason why.
Gotcha.
But it acts as a heritage tree now.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, one of our favorites in the garden here.
Oh, is it this one in the corner is the second one?
Yeah. Oh, so we were talking about the full-size Langling trees. Here's some now, just along up here. And that's probably half the size of what they could normally get.
Oh, you've got a ficus beside it.
Oh, yeah. Ficus lyrata, the fiddle leaf.
I never realized how big they got until I came down here for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's they go in full trees here, which is so funny because they're known as being finicky. They just like the heat and the sun, you know. Not great indoor plants, I guess. Here's the second largest. Again, the knobby bark on them is just incredible.
It really is. Does this one also not fruit?
No, it doesn't.
That's interesting.
Which again, we are totally fine with. We have a lot of frangipanis here as well. Plumerias, a lot of different hybrids and colors. Right now, in May is really when they shine because they're all in bloom right now. They've just all came out of dormancy. And they're also leafing out as well. So it's just you get that really nice show of color and lushness.
Last time I was down here, I took a picture of a pink one and it looks like it was glowing. It was so vibrant. Storm's finally getting to us.
Yeah, that storm sounds really bad, but you know what? It might miss us. It looks like it's staying west. Yeah, let's go this way.
Hello, little lizard. You lost your tail.
Oh yeah, the curly tails.
Oh, wow. Completely different vibe back here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're kind of in a place I don't think a lot of people necessarily notice us from the road or something, especially the locals and all. But when everyone comes back here, it's like, wow, this is here. Again, we're 20 acres, so that's fairly large. I guess in botanical garden terms, that's still fairly small.
I think Atlanta's only 30.
Really? Atlanta
I think
Botanical?
so.
Oh,
It's not that big.
I always thought it was larger. I don't know.
Maybe.
But no, I also guess wouldn't be surprised. I just think of like Fairchild that's like over 100.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. It's like we might need to take cover. Or we can look at this real quick. This is a jackfruit. Artocarpus heterofolia. Some of the largest fruits in the world. Again, these are still really small. They can get 2 to 3 times the size of this one right here.
Wow.
But this is such a prolific tree, and it's so loaded right now that they're just crowding each other out. If we were trying to cultivate this plant, you know, to produce fruit to send to market or something, we'd probably thin it out a little bit. You can see here they're really affecting the shape of each other, pressing each other's up against the bins or the limbs, I mean. Oh yeah. But some people like it, some people don't. I think it has a really juicy flavor. Reminds me of juicy fruit gum.
Interesting.
And
not
I like it.
Described like that.
Yeah, that's how I think. Well, if you eat it when it's ripe, it's also famous for being like, a pulled pork substitute, like a meat substitute for vegans. But that's when it's unripe. They can harvest the fruit and then cut it up, and it'll take on that texture more. When it's ripe, it's very, very juicy and sweet.
That one's huge.
Yeah. I love this one right here. Just like, I don't even know how you get that out.
I don't think you can.
No.
Crazy.
Okay. Maybe we should go wait out the storm then.
You want to go under the cover?
Yeah.
It rained. And rained. And rained some more. What was supposed to be a quick 30-minute shower turned into a 2-hour downpour. Gotta love Florida weather.
So that's the gift shop. So normally you would walk in through the gift shop, check in admissions, and you'd walk right out. And then right at the entrance to the garden is the tropical forest. And this garden is just meant to show, you know, things you would see in a tropical shade forest. You know, we don't have any rainforest here in Florida, but, you know, something that mimics that feeling. Lots of palms and big leafy things. Kind of fits now that we have a we had this giant downpour of rain, right?
It makes it more tropical.
Yeah. Feel like I'm in the Amazon right now. Some big old alocasias, of course.
Wow.
There's lutea. Just loving its spot right here.
Loving life.
Different tree ferns.
Is this what that tree fern fiber is made of? This fern?
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe not the same species, but yeah, these get like a full trunk on them. And the fiber on the trunk, it's not like a true trunk. It's not woody at all, but it's just very the surface is very porous and it's easy for, you know, and it's kind of rot resistant too, which is interesting. So it makes perfect things for to mount orchids. Variegated musa, variegated IA banana, or II.
So pretty out here. Like, look at that.
Yeah, then over here we have our Moai Statues, our Easter Island replicates. A few of them being life-size, which is kind of amazing. Not something you would typically see in Florida, of course.
Right.
The Rapa Nui people and the mysteries of Easter Island and stuff, and it's kind of interesting to see them, you know. Usually they'd be on an island that's completely defoliated, you know, basically this kind of allegory of over-harvesting to the point of, you know, an extinction, but instead we have them here in a lush tropical forest, so let's kind of play with the theme there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But again, lots of outdoor flowering things you usually see here in Florida, but always different. We like showcasing different varieties. Like here we have an Azora, an orange flowering Azora. Azora is a very popular hedge plant here, but usually you only see the small red ones all over the place. This, maybe you're a homeowner here and you're like, I like those. I know they do well here, but I want a different colors. So here we were able to provide an orange one for people to see. And we do have a nursery here. It's open to the public. Pretty much everything's propagated from stuff in the garden. So it's not something usually you see at a botanical garden. But once you kind of walk around, you're able to go back to the nursery and just ask our volunteers or our nursery administrator over there and just be like, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you have it in the... Can I purchase one on site at the garden?
That's
Chances
so cool.
are it might be, and you got to take a little bit of the garden with you.
I love that. I
Yeah.
wish more places did that.
Yeah, it's great. It kind of helps with our mission of, you know, trying to inspire through nature and create some diversity in our yards. You know, we have lots of things. It's not just tropicals. We have natives, we have herbs, we have vegetable plants, fruit trees, a whole range of things. But I love this thing here. This is the torch ginger at Lingera, and you can see the flower on there. It's really amazing.
That's beautiful. So cool. It looks like just a stake in the ground.
Yeah, but those are the leaves. The leaves can really tower over you.
Yeah.
This is another ginger called the beehive ginger.
Oh, wow.
See look very much like a beehive.
It does. That's so cool.
And if you squeeze it, you know, you kind of get the...
Is that the...
It's like it's related to the shampoo ginger.
That's
so yeah, it kind of has that very fragrant look.
Got a huge
Yeah.
Paradiso.
Paradiso verde. I keep wanting to attach it to the tree, but it doesn't want to go. So it's just living life now.
It's huge. I didn't realize how big it was.
Yeah, they get really massive.
It's crazy.
And that whole thing about in the winter time, their leaves being green, and the summertime, the leaves being variegated. It's totally true down here. I've noticed it with that plant. It's like, I always think it reverts. But come summertime, it always shoots out more color.
Mine does that too in my plant room. The first year I ever had the plant room, I tried to keep it really hot in the winter.
Yeah.
And everything, like it kept its color and everything. But I noticed the next year stuff was just not as happy because they didn't have that rest period.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like a ton of flowers and stuff on plants. So now I make sure.
Yeah, seasonal change. Very important for a lot of plants.
It really is.
Yeah, we can go to the next area.
Kinds of cool stuff. That thing's huge.
Yeah. It was cool. These I'm not sure exactly where these were made, but they came on a large freight boat into the channel over here, and there's a photo of the donor just posing in the background. It's just this giant boat with all these sculptures on there.
That's
not
crazy.
covered up at all, just like so everyone can see. It's very funny.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a very nice
don't
Dracaena.
see those outside of a pot.
No, right? Yeah, that's the great thing about Florida. It's like all the indoor plants can also do very well out here too.
Mm-hmm. What is this?
It's a nice coral plant, Jatropha. Has these beautiful, really thin leaves and usually like a bright red flower. And it's a big butterfly attractant.
Wow.
Makes like a shrub, kind of a smallish tree, not too large, but very tough. They can actually become a little bit weedy too. It self-pollinates, and when the fruit's ripe, it just explodes, and the seed just like shoots out everywhere.
Wow.
You'll get new ones popping up. Yeah, and then kind of this section right here, this is our Garden of Extremes. It's basically our succulent garden, but we also include plants here that are not just drought tolerant. They're also salt tolerant, wind tolerant, pretty much tough things that, we have a lot of coastline here in Palm Beach County. So a lot of people want to know, what can I grow on this coastline here? It's things that'll also take the brood of like a tropical storm or a hurricane. So a lot of things here should be able to take those conditions. And nothing in here gets irrigation other than, of course, the rain. So this is, if you want to be creative, but you don't necessarily want to invest in installing an irrigation system, or maybe you just don't like watering that much, this is like a great place you can come.
Look at your giant ponytail palm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got two of three.
We got 3, 4, and a very special one, actually, behind all of these.
Go check it out.
Some nice Encephalartos cycad just growing out the base.
Ow. That's sharp.
Yeah, real spiny. The cycads are always really tough. And here's our variegated ponytail palm.
No way.
Yeah. Fully grown.
I've never seen a variegated one.
Right? And what's really cool about this one is there's 2 different kinds of variegation on it. So look at this stem where it's completely white in the center, and look at that stem where it's got green stripes going down the middle.
Oh, wow.
On the same plant.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How long has this guy been here?
Oh, gosh. Long time. Way before I started here. Probably planted in the ground as like a 1-gallon plant.
I love it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's, as old as some of the counterparts over there. It's just because it's variegated,
Mm-hmm.
It's so much slower growing.
That's so cool. I've never seen a variegated one.
Yeah.
Now everybody's going to start looking for them.
I know. I've heard they're around, but very hard to find because you can't really grow them from cuttings.
That's true.
You'd have to wait for seed. Tissue culture, of course. Someone who could tissue culture it. Different cacti, aloes, of course. More frangipanis, agaves, bromeliads, things like that.
What is this thing?
Yeah,
bush?
This is the blue vase juniper.
That's so cool.
Had a low spreading habit, very tough. There's a lot of junipers here that do really well with coastal conditions. They're a little sharp, but a nice conifer.
All these thorny things.
Oh yeah, lots of euphorbias. Uncarina. The flowers are fading on here, but this is the mousetrap tree.
What is it called?
Mousetrap tree or uncarina. It's a succulent shrub from Madagascar, and these are little yellow flowers, interesting tube-shaped flowers. They call it a mousetrap tree because when it's pollinated, it makes a really interesting looking fruit with spines all over it. And I heard it looks like something from the game Mousetrap, like one of the little toys there.
Interesting.
Yeah. We can go down here. This is a nice area. This is the tropical foliage border. And here you'll find just lots. It's all about textures and colors, not necessarily flowering things, though we do have a lot of flowering plants here. But really interesting architectural plants that work together. Like, I think some of these are really amazing. This is a Macrozamia morii. Really beautiful cycad. With these big arching leaves. Very sharp, but it's a beautiful specimen here. And actually, we have one with a cone on it.
Ooh. I see that.
Just in there with a bunch of seeds about to pop out, too.
So it got pollinated?
Yeah, it looks like it. If they're viable is another question. But that one right there is a male. So you have a male and female right across from each other. It just...
Nice.
It depends if we have the right bugs to pollinate it. Yeah, it is from Australia, so that might not be likely.
Might not have the bugs. Oh, you've got another.
Another one. This is Dioon. This is a nice Spinulosum, I believe. That's also the seed pod.
Oh, I see your vanilla back there.
Oh, yeah. The vanillas are like a weed around here.
Does it got seed pods? Is that what I'm seeing right there?
Well, it might be flowers, actually. Flowers that are about to pop out. And see, there's another one right there. The vanilla do need to be manually pollinated to make fruit and all, but it's not a hard thing to do. I actually had a friend come over and she texted me. She's like, I pollinated all of your vanilla for you. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I went out there and sure enough, they all had they all had pods on them.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah. It's very lush right now. They're loving the rain. We've been in drought for so long.
It's like a little jungle.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, right now we're trying to focus on putting more things on the trees, different orchids, air plants. I like epiphytic cacti a lot. So Ripsalis, Lepismium, kind of making it even more of a tropical vibe, We don't have a conservatory, a glass house here at Mounts. Again, we're more of like a display garden to be utilized by people who want a garden of their own. But the amazing thing is you don't really need a glass house here. You can grow a lot of these things outdoors.
What is this thing?
Yeah, this is great. This is the mast tree. Mast tree, and they call it that because it makes these big, long, straight trunks that go way up. And if you wanted to make a mast, like on a boat, and you have one long, straight trunk, this would be perfect for that.
That is so cool.
And just like these beautiful, long draping leaves. I don't usually see the flowers, but if you look above you, it looks like this one's blooming right now too. Very delicate little things.
Yeah, they are. Such a cool looking tree.
Yeah.
Look at the stems.
And even small ones make really nice columnar looking plants. So if you wanted like an Italian cypress or something, down here and you couldn't grow an Italian cypress, this is a good tropical replacement. You can see we like crotons. Plenty of crotons around here, all different colors and forms and shapes.
I actually like crotons.
Yeah?
Yes.
There is some debate about it. I used to really dislike them, but I've learned about a few varieties that really catch me. People like this one a lot. This is ram's horn.
Ram's horn.
And like, yeah, really dense, curly bunch that you don't really get to see a lot of other commercially produced crotons. Rainbow eucalyptus right here.
Wow.
And actually, this is a great time to view it because when the trunk is wet, that's when the colors really pop.
I see.
Yeah, look at the orange on there.
Somebody carved into it.
Yeah. Like
That's
making it known they were here.
That's beautiful.
Right? So right in front of us is our mama lang lang tree.
Oh,
Big
wow.
mama.
Yeah, massive.
And at night, the smell of it is so strong in the air. You know, you come here early in the morning, it's just perfume all throughout the air around it. It's really amazing.
Look at all the flowers.
Yeah.
It's huge.
We can go over here.
There's like so many great places to take photos here.
Yeah. Yeah, we have lots of, it's graduation season right now. So many kids coming here taking their photos. This is a big quinceañera spot. A whole lot of quinceañeras come through here. But we have weddings here too. And
what is it?
This is the tropical wetland area, actually. And usually we have a waterfall running. Looks like had an automatic switch off since we're about near the end of the day. So right now we're on the east side of the lake. And right now, and then actually this is the bridge over to the island. So we'll go up into the island. And but in the lake, we have lots of koi, lots of turtles, lots of carp. Visitors like to come here and feed them. And right now, we're coming out of a drought, but the water level's still very, very low. What's crazy is as summer ramps up and our wet season comes in, it gets really extreme in terms of like rain almost every afternoon. The water level is going to get so high that it's going to actually move above the path here. Like that's why the walkways are perforated.
Wow.
And I've walked out here before and seen koi fish like swimming over the walkways.
Wow.
Which is really funny. But it's just to illustrate how, South Florida primarily, and a lot of Florida is, we depend on our wetlands. And a lot of the plants that have adapted to living here in Florida deal with that extreme dry winter and that very wet summer. So a lot of plants here, they're either on an annual habit of, only coming during the wet season, or they've just totally adapted to both extremes at once. So we showcase a lot of those plants here. And also maybe their counterparts from other parts of the world.
What is this thing?
Yeah, this is a great thing, great aroid actually. It's called a Montricardia linifera. It's from Brazil, and to me, looks like an alocasia crossed with bamboo.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
it makes these really cool heart-shaped leaves on these long, thin trunks. And what happens is they grow in like floodplains in Brazil, and they'll completely colonize an area. They almost like mangroves in the way where it'll just be so dense and full of them. And they make these big long stems. They get like 3 times this height. And then the wet summers come and you have almost like floods and these very like violent waves of fresh water going down these rivers. And then all the stems break and then they wash ashore somewhere else and they root in and they start another colony. So you can see right here that was, I didn't plant that. That kind of shot out from underneath the plant here and came up right there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, a rare aroid that not a lot of people know about. These wet habits, but I guess can also take a hot and dry winter.
While I'm waiting for you, I'm gonna try to get a video of one of those planes.
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah,
pretty.
they're like almost every 10 minutes nowadays.
That's crazy.
So if we come over here, we'll have the lookout area, which is essentially the heart of the garden here. We're at the very center. Lots of ibis over there.
Ibis?
Ibis, yeah, that's the birds they call them. They're sticking their long pink beaks into the grass to find, bugs and critters and things like that.
Okay, hold on. 5 seconds.
Okay, you see right there, see the turtles?
Yeah, look at them.
Oh, there's another one right there. So they probably spotted us. So up at the gift shop, you can get food, and they are very well fed, and they'll just, people come over here, feed the turtles. And then probably once the turtles spot us, the fish will start coming. You'll start seeing koi fish. Maybe not because of the rain, I don't know.
What is this tree right here?
Yeah, that's the bald cypress tree.
That's what I thought. It's beautiful.
Yeah, kind of all over Florida, especially if you get down to South Florida, around Big Cypress, of course. Usually they call them bald cypress because they drop all their leaves in the wintertime. Again, that dry season, so they won't need them so much, but come summertime, they leaf out. We have our big Royal Poinciana tree back there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful tree. You'll see them in parks all over South Florida. Houses too. Those bright red flowers. Amazing tree from Madagascar, actually. But right now they're all throughout the subtropics of the world. Miami even has like a Royal Poinciana tour. Like one day per year you get on a bus and you can tour all like the famous Poinciana trees in Coral Gables.
What's the little building over there?
Yeah, so that's just that's our arbor, our walkway. You can walk underneath it, but there's like a nice little window you can look through. Yeah, just behind over here where you see the other arbor, we have our butterfly garden. It's an outdoor butterfly garden maintained by our volunteers there. So all plants specifically for butterflies. And there's just so many in there at any point that we don't really need like a closed-in area.
That makes sense.
They just don't leave. It's just filled with monarchs and zebra longwings, sulfur, butterflies.
I've seen quite a few flying around today.
Yeah.
More crotons.
Oh yeah. This is our bench. This is the Escoffier bench, art piece. It was installed in the garden not long ago, but people like sitting here and just looking out on the water. You got the canopy of the sable palmettos over you.
That's like such a nice photo.
Yeah, right? Yeah, people love this area. Yeah, before I worked here, I would come here all the time and just hang out.
I would too.
Okay, so it's...
walk back.
Yeah, 3:30, I gotta pack up some stuff.
Before I give you a personal tour through the rest of the garden, take a listen to what these planes sound like without my mic on. DJI has finally convinced me these mics were worth the price I paid. It amazes me how planes are so loud from the outside, but somehow inside they feel calm and quiet. I just can't wrap my head around it. Anyways, I think this is the Zimmerman Shade and Color Garden. I bet you can't guess what this philodendron is. This is Philodendron giganteum. Seriously, this plant is so underrated as a collector piece. Look at the size and texture. Just gorgeous. A quick loop through the Shade and Color Garden brought us right back to where Palmer left us. Now this plant drives me crazy because I can never remember its name even though I know it. It's a variegated sea hibiscus and I'm obsessed. If you have grown one in your garden in Zone 8A, please tell me. I need one of these in my life. And check out this bromeliad. There's a whole little ecosystem living inside it. See those black specks? Mosquito larvae. Great for nature, horrible for me. That's how my arm ended up like this after just one day in Florida. And yes, I wore 3 different types of repellent: DEET spray, the bracelets, and the stickers. While I hate the mosquitoes, I absolutely love being in South Florida. Not for the beaches, but because it's the only place, other than maybe Hawaii, where you can see all your favorite tropical houseplants growing full size outdoors. Every visit, I discover new plants I want to learn about, like the Mast tree from earlier, or this dwarf Buddha belly bamboo. It's named for its swollen inner nodes, and apparently, if you stress it, they swell up even more. While it's called a dwarf bamboo, you can see how massive this one gets. If bamboo didn't take over everything like kudzu, I'd grow this one in a heartbeat. I did read it makes a great bonsai though, so maybe I'll try that. Could you imagine a cute little Buddha belly bamboo bonsai garden? Say that 10 times fast. That's it though, I'm sold. And this trip taught me so much more, beyond what's just here at Mounts. Everywhere I went, I got to see tropicals I'd never encountered before. Palmer's greenhouse was packed with plants I didn't recognize. Enid at NSC Tropicals had dozens I'd never seen. And at Jessie Durko's, I got to bring home an anthurium I didn't even know existed. Trips like this always open my eyes to new plants to research, dream about, and hopefully grow one day. And it's not just the houseplants or ornamentals that inspire me. Seeing the native trees like the mangroves and bald cypress reminds me of how important these plants are to Florida's ecosystem. Mangroves are incredible. They help protect the coastline from erosion, provide shelter for fish and birds, and even filter the water. And the bald cypress, those trees with their iconic knees rising up from the ground, they help prevent flooding, stabilize wetland soils, and create vital habitats for wildlife. It's easy to overlook these giants when you're focused on showy blooms, but honestly, they're the real heroes of Florida's landscape. Without places like Mounts, I wouldn't even know about them. And this tree right here, it's a true superfood. I call it Moringa, but it's also called the horseradish tree. The leaves have more vitamin C than oranges, more vitamin A than carrots, more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, and more potassium than bananas. Plus, moringa is a rare plant-based complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. And it's loaded with antioxidants that help fight inflammation, support heart health, and protect your cells. It's no wonder why it's called one of the most nutritious plants on Earth. The raw leaves taste kind of like raw spinach, but it can be made into a tea. I think this is one plant everyone should have in their home. And without places like Mounts, I would have never learned about moringa. Maybe you wouldn't have either. From there, I somehow wandered into the bulb garden, and I'm so glad I did. This area is filled with plants that come back year after year here in Florida. Things like ginger, lilies, caladium, and more. The African blood lilies immediately caught my eye. Their bright red blooms are so striking, and they seem to be just as popular with the butterflies as they were with me. Tucked behind the bulb garden, near the butterfly garden, is the trial garden. I completely missed it this time, but I'm fascinated by what they do there. It's where they test out new cultivars from proven winners to see what thrives in the Palm Beach climate. It's basically where future Florida-friendly plants get their start. So if you want to get a sneak peek of what proven winners may put out next growing season, the trial garden is where it's at. Their butterfly garden honestly blew me away. When Palmer and I were hiding out from the storm earlier, he kept saying, "You have to see the butterfly garden. It's full of them." Now, every butterfly garden I've ever visited full of butterflies was indoors, so I assumed that's what he meant. I asked if it was nearby so we could check it out while we waited for the rain to stop. He gave me this slightly confused look, and then you could see it clicked for him. He laughed and said, "Oh, it's just an outdoor garden, but there are always tons of butterflies out there." After that much rain, I honestly didn't expect to see a single butterfly. I figured they'd all be hiding out, drying off. But I was wrong. Even after hours of rain, the garden was alive with butterflies everywhere. I could not believe it. I can only imagine how incredible it must be when the sun's been shining all day. It honestly felt like stepping into a dream. Palmer and I both thought we'd have time to see everything together. But between the rain and the clock, that wasn't going to happen. Since we'd planned on him guiding me, I didn't grab a map. I set off on my own, so caught up in filming and admiring the plants that I wasn't really keeping up with where I was. At first, it felt magical, wandering through on my own. But then I realized I had no idea where I was. I looked around and realized I was completely lost. And I only had about 15 minutes to meet Palmer at the gate. A switch flipped in my brain and I immediately started panicking. I stuffed my camera away and picked the direction I thought I came from. I walked faster and faster, second-guessing every turn. The more I rushed, the more disoriented I felt. I could feel my heart racing. My eyes started to well up, not because the garden was hard to navigate, but because I let the stress and anxiety take over. Finally, I forced myself to stop, take a breath, and that's when I saw it. The most peaceful lake view, like the garden itself was telling me to slow down. I decided to take a moment, sit by the lake, and try to gather my thoughts. After my heart stopped pounding out of my chest, I pulled out my phone to capture how peaceful it looked. And then something clicked. This almost felt like deja vu. The view seemed familiar. And that's when it hit me. I'd been here earlier. I scrolled back through my videos, found the clip with the frog in the lake, and realized I could follow my footage like breadcrumbs to retrace my steps. Bit by bit, my videos guided me back towards the exit. I ended up 10 minutes late, but it turned what was once a stressful moment into a small adventure, and a reminder of how easy it is to lose yourself, in a good way, in a place as magical as Mounts. Looking at the map later, I laughed. Turns out, the garden's basically a big loop. No matter which way I went, I would have found the exit. I was actually not that far from the exit when I decided to panic and turn around. Palmer and I left Mounts and headed over to his greenhouse, where he completely blew my mind for a second time. His collection is filled with plants you've probably never seen before. If you haven't checked out that video yet, I highly recommend it. It's packed with rare species, fascinating hybrids, and some of the coolest plants I've had the chance to learn about. And if you haven't made it out to Mounts Botanical Garden, I can't recommend it enough. I didn't even get to explore the thrift store, nursery, or half the garden, so I'll definitely be going back this September. If you're headed to IAS this year and want to join me, drop a comment. I'd love to plan a group trip and maybe snap a few photos together at one of their amazing photo spots. And if you're growing any of these plants we explored today in a different hardiness zone, tell me about it. My neighbor has an angel trumpet thriving in her yard here in Atlanta, and I've been growing alocasia in mine, so I know some plants can grow in zones they're not supposed to. Anyways, that's the end of our tour. If you need more green, check out the tours playlist or check out this video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. See you next week. Bye!